Hello, how are you? I'm back. I've been a little bit slow in uploading this week. I still have a band-aid on that little nub of a nail because though it's growing back, it's still not pretty. So I am saving you from having to look at that while I do my nails. We are doing something really pretty today. I am in love with this mani. I am wearing my Eros Builder Gel from West Coast Dips as an overlay, and it is HEMA free, so that's nice. And ever since I saw this color, Radiant Ruby, in the Sparkle & Co. sub bag for November, I was dying to get it on my nails. And initially I had tried one thing and it didn't really work, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. But we're going to get into this dip, and I'm going to do Radiant Ruby on all 5 of my nails because, well, it's a showstopper and it deserves to be on all the nails. One thing I will tell you about this dip is that it is chock-a-block full of red foils. This is not a glitter dip. It is 100% red foils and clear dip powder. That's what you're dealing with when you deal with Radiant Ruby, okay? I am not going to show you all of my nails dipped. I'm going to do my pinky and my ring finger, 2 dips on each. I'm not going to show you the rest because it's pretty much the same process, and I don't want this to be too long and tedious. But what I will share with you is that this girl, this Radiant Ruby, is messy. Those red foils love to bleed. Oh, let me explain what I'm doing right now. Because I have on peel base, I am first laying down a layer of dip base on all of my nails, and I'm going to let it dry completely. And then I'm going to go in and start my dip process. And I'm doing this because I'm using Virgo and Gems peel base, and it tends to sometimes make my base liquid dry a bit too quickly on that first layer. So laying down base layer first and letting it dry slows down the drying process. There, I said all that without even breathing. Anyway, so let me explain about Radiant Ruby here. She bleeds like the Dickens. I mean, those foils dyed my brush, okay? And so you're not going to notice it on this first dip because, of course, it's the first layer. But when we get to the second layer, you are going to see that every time that brush hits those foils, it starts to turn pink. So what I do is to hopefully keep from ruining my dip liquids, is that I put a napkin there and I swipe my brush before putting it back in the bottle pretty much every single time. Because otherwise I'm going to end up with pink base liquid, and I don't want that because then I can't use it with the lighter colors. So that's how I remedied that issue. But boy, was it a lot of swiping. I feel like I wasted a lot of liquid wiping off my brush, but hopefully it's going to be okay. So I went ahead and skipped the last 3 nails. I just did my pinky and my ring finger on camera, and now we're going to go in with the second dip. And what I'm using is a softer dust off brush because I don't want to disturb these foils too much. I mostly wanted to just get rid of the excess because it is only red foils mixed with clear powder. So if you go in there and scrub with a scrubby brush, you're going to break up those foils and there's not going to be as much coverage. So I'm being pretty gentle. It looks like I'm being aggressive, but I'm not, I promise. Just to kind of get off the excess. And now I'm going to go back in again. And this is where you're going to see there, I put the napkin there so that I could wipe, because I know from experience with the other hand how much these beautiful, gorgeous red foils bleed. Now, was it worth all that? In my opinion, yes. It's a beautiful mani. It's a beautiful color. You know, some people have separate dip liquids for things like this, or purposes like this. Darker colors, colors that bleed. I mean, foils that bleed, you know. That's entirely up to you. You can do that. But I did find that if I was careful enough and I wiped my brush off well enough, it didn't seem to, like, ruin the liquid, because, yeah, I don't know. Oh, we can hope. We'll see the next time I do a light color if it's pink. But the brush looked pretty clear after I wiped it off, so that's the story with that. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to take a break from talking. I'm going to let you finish watching this process. So I'm going to finish dipping my ring finger, and then I'm going to show you my thumb as well. Because for some reason I kept my thumb in here. There it is. I'm going to finish all this. I think I added my thumb in here because I wanted you to see all the pink on the napkin where I was swiping my brush, just so you could see it, like the pink and the red there from all the bleeding that those foils did. So I think that's why I left that in, just so you could see that. So I'm going to move on from this. I'm going to encapsulate all of my nails in clear dip powder to protect those beautiful flakes. And then I'm going to activate everything. I'm going to file and shape my nails off camera. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to add some really pretty 3D snowflake and ornament decals. All right, so that's what we're going to do, and I'll be back in a little while. Oh, I'm going to pop back in right here because I realized I promised I was going to tell you what I had tried and failed to do. So Radiant Ruby is so pigmented and bleeds so much that I tried to do sort of an ombre on the nail that the snowflakes are on. And it was a very big fail. Those foils bled all over. I was trying to do it on a white shimmer. Oh, it did not go well. It ended up looking like a hot pink mess. It was just not gonna happen. So I had to pop that off, and I just went with a straight solid mani with some snowflakes. But you know what? I'm kind of glad because I really, really love the way it came out. So no complaints here. But I just wanted to let you know that that was what I had tried to do, so that if you have Radiant Ruby and have ideas like that, I wouldn't bother. It's not going to go well unless you have some magic that I don't, which is entirely possible. So, you know, if you want to give it a go, I just recommend that you proceed with caution. Hey, it's time for decals. Okay, so I got these gorgeous 3D decals last year. I never got around to using them, so I finally found an excuse to use them because I wanted to add a little something classy and fancy, yet festive to this mani. So that's what we're going to do. I am going to be applying these decals using the method that I have been using lately with the jelly stamper and just dabbing on water to the backing and letting it sit for a moment. Now, I am going to say that with these decals, it still worked. It just took a little bit longer for the backing to be ready to come off. So I let them sit there quite a while. And what I mean by a while is about a minute. Most decals, I can apply a little bit of water and let it sit for about 15 to 20 seconds and they'll slide right off. These took a little bit longer. Anyway, so I'm applying my sticky base coat from Maniology. I use this all the time when I'm applying my decals or stamping. It's just a really easy way to make sure that everything sticks and stays put where I want it. So I am going to slide that backing right off of that decal. It gave me a little bit of trouble, but I managed to get it off. And then, as I usually do, I use my jelly stamper to line it up and place it where I want it on my nail. Oh, okay, there. I just dabbed off a little bit of water to make sure that it was going to stick well. And I just line it up and stick it on. Ooh, good for you, Jess. Good job. It's so hard to get that in frame just like that. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. All right, so the next ones I did a little bit differently. Well, not differently. I did the same process, but this time I put all three of the decals on at one time so that I could just, you know, plop, plop, plop all three of them and not have you sit here while I wait for the backing to come off of all three of those lovely little snowflakes. So I'm applying my sticky base coat again, same process. And then, yeah, I'm going to apply these little, cute little snowflakes, and then I'll be back. Okay, so we finally got all the backings off of these lovely little snowflakes. And now I am just going to line them up and give it a bloop, bloop, and a bloop. And they're on. See? 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. So one of the other things that came in this sub bag from Sparkle & Co. are these little flat rhinestones. Not just flat back, but like flat. They're like little flat circles. They look like glitter, but they're not. Anyway, this was a birthstone themed sub bag, and this came, and it was also an advent calendar kind of theme. So there were 12 different bags, and these little rhinestones came in one of them, and they're really cute and they sparkle like nobody's business, but they're not raised, they're flat. It's really cool. So I thought I would add a couple of these in the center of, one in the center of the ornament, and then a couple of the snowflakes conveniently have little spots in them where I can just place one of these little rhinestone-y things and got a little bling in there. So since I'm trying to stay away from gel as much as possible right now, I decided the way I wanted to apply these and encapsulate these beautiful decals was to use my dip base. So I'm applying the dip base, and then while it's still wet, I am going to pick up one of those rhinestones and just kind of sink it into the liquid, and then I will activate on top of the base coat, and then I'll top coat. And that's pretty much it for this mani. So I'm going to finish doing that. I'm going to top coat, and I'll be back for some cuticle oil and to wrap it all up. All right, my friends, here is what we've got. Oh my gosh, I just love this. You know, I did red in my last upload, but it was only 2 nails, and it was kind of a different shade of red. Had a very different feel to it. Not any better, just different. Like that last set was very retro. It was a brighter red, I think. I don't know, this has got a deeper tone to it. I'm just loving it. Anyway, I'm trying a new cuticle oil today. Shocker, I know, I've got to try them all. This one is from Savage Nails, and I was attracted to this brand because of the bottles, I must be honest. I know they're a little bit more like something you'd see at Halloween, but I'm kind of obsessed with these bottles. They're really cool. That skull bottle is like so different. Makes the company kind of stand out, you know what I mean? But I will say, I really like this cuticle oil, and you get a lot of product. It's like a lot of bang for your buck, let me tell you. And this one is called Holiday Latte, and it smells delicious. So I'm really going to enjoy this cuticle oil. I will link her Facebook group down in the description box. I don't think she has a website. I think you have to order through her Facebook group. So I will link that down below. I really had fun doing this, Manny, even though these foils were testing my patience with all the bleeding, and it was a process, but I think it was worth it because in the end, I ended up with what I feel is a really classy yet still very festive set of nails. I've been kind of into, you know, the simpler side of Christmas lately. Maybe it's my age, I don't know. But all the red, green, gold, silver, I can do that if y'all want to see that. But I kind of like trying to do something a little bit different. Yeah. So let me know what you think about that down below. If you'd like to see a more classic Christmas Manny on me, I can do that. No problem at all. But I kind of like to step outside the box a little bit. Let me know what you think. I'm so glad. My dog is going berserko downstairs. Yikes. Sorry about that. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye now.